Patch 12.2 has a new meta, and therefore, it's time for a new tier list. Then I'll go through my strategy for climbing on this patch, then I'll quickly run through how to play the comps I've mentioned. As always, leave your feedback in the comments so I can keep improving this series. From the latest tier list, there is a decent amount of changes. Chemtech Urgot is back in S tier as he got buffed, and Bruiser openers feel a lot better after the bodyguard nerf. Challengers continue to be strong in S tier, as both Yone and Fiora are viable carries, and you can get 6 challengers online without hitting Kai'Sa. In A tier, we have Trundle Reroll. I said in my patch rundown video that I had a feeling this comp would rise to power again, and I've played this comp 4 times on this patch and I haven't bought for it a single time with it yet. I think this comp is just 1 or 2 3-star buffs away from becoming an S tier comp. Imperials are once again in A tier. Both Talon Reroll and Samira Reroll will work, but I have seen more success with Samira Reroll after the Talon nerf. Kog'Maw Reroll is about as strong as it was on the last patch, and since it didn't get buffed or nerfed, it continues to be a strong comp you can climb with. Innovators is surprisingly strong even after the Seraphine, Orianna, and Legendary percentage nerf. It just goes to show how strong this comp was on the last patch. I've seen many win with this comp if they hit Jace, but also go bot for when they don't hit Jace, so it is definitely more of a 1st or 8th comp this patch. Arcanists Lux is in the lower end of A tier. She struggles a little too much into Chemtech and Trundle Reroll. Besides that, she is great in the meta. Reroll Arcanists have also shown up a lot more, and that version is also playable if you get a lot of Swains and Malzahars early. In B tier we have Syndicate Shaco. I've seen multiple people bot for with this comp when they don't hit a Kali, but if they are able to 3-star Shaco and hit a Kali, people will usually place pretty high with this comp in that case. It's definitely weaker and less consistent than on the last patch, so it falls down all the way to B tier in my opinion. Socialite Kai'Sa continues to be one of the best comps in the game if you are able to 2-star both her and Galio. The issue is that it requires a ton of gold, so it's the ultimate 1st or 8th comp. It's also too inconsistent to put anywhere else in the B tier in my eyes. Warwick Reroll has been surprisingly strong on this patch. It benefits a lot from all the other reroll comps, and plays quite well into Bruiser players as Warwick deals percentage HP to his auto attacks. Mutants have shown up again. I have seen people top 4 and win games if they are able to hit Cho'Gath 3-star, but this comp is very reliant on an early Cho'Gath so you can start gaining stacks quickly, and it also requires you to have a good early and mid game so you have enough HP to hit your Cho'Gath 3-star and your Malzahar 3-star. Sniper Gen got nerfed a little bit too hard with the bodyguard nerf, Scion nerf, and with legendary percentage nerfs. So if you are in a spot to play Jhin this patch, it's much better to just pivot into Yone or Urgot instead, as those forecast carries are just straight up better in every way. 6 Yordles and Tristana Reroll are still playable, and good as long as you have 3 Yordles on stage 2-1. It's still able to win games if you get some good augments and good items with it. Now let's talk about my strategy for climbing on this patch. I start every game defaulting towards Trundle Reroll. This is because it's uncontested and undervalued by most players right now. Most people will use Trundle as an item carrier for Urgot, but then they'll sell it off on stage 4, therefore it's pretty easy to hit Trundle 3-star every game. The items I slam on Trundle work great on both Urgot and Yone as well. Both of these champions with a Hurricane, and QSS also works great on Yone. Because of this, I start Cloak on every carousel. This is because Trundle needs 3 of them, and the other comps I play need at least 1 of them. Cloak is also uncontested on the starting carousel due to people undervaluing Trundle. From there, I always look for either a Chemtech opener or a Scrap opener with a Bruiser frontline. For those of you that don't want to default to Trundle, starting Bow will be the best as both Yone and Urgot need a Hurricane, and Last Whisper is still a great item on both of them. And since there are a lot more 3-stars in this meta, Giant Slayer is an item I build a lot more often now, and you need another bow for that item as well. I haven't played a single AP comp so far this patch, as I think it's not as strong as the AD or Trundle route, but starting Rod and looking for a 3 Yordle opener is still the best play in that case. Now let's cover how to play the comps mentioned. I've already made in-depth guides on most of these, so I will link my set 6 comp playlist in the description. For Chemtech Urgot, this is the ideal board to end up with at level 8, although it is a lot harder to hit this capped version with the new level 8 shop odds. Until you hit the legendaries, you will run Warwick over Victor, GP over Jinx, and Illaoi over Tahm Kench. Items for Urgot are still the same. Hurricane is a core item, Last Whisper is great as a secondary item and as it helps you get through bodyguards, but since there are less of them in this meta, it's not as important as on the last patch. The third item as always depends, but GA, IE, Deathblade, and Giant Slayer are all great third items for Urgot. The best augments are anything to do with Chemtechs. Knife's Edge is great for more damage, and healing augments like First Aid Kit are also great to sustain your Chemtech units. Yone is the same old story, use Leona Braum as your frontline, and then put in challengers to buff up Yone. Hurricane is core, then pick up either QSS or GA as your second item. and the third item is either Last Whisper or Giant Slayer depending on your lobby. You can run Fiora as your primary carry as well if you find better items for her or 2-star her first. Kai'Sa as always is the late game carry you need to get your first place in most cases. Best augments are anything to do with challengers or more damage through Knife's Edge or Cybernetic Implants. Celestial Blessing and Thrill the Hunt can also work to help out your challengers to sustain more. Trundle Reroll is still played the same way, but now going for 4 scrap at level 6 is better in my opinion. You want to end up with this board at level 8 with both comps. Hurricane and BT are core items on Trundle, but you usually don't need BT until stage 4, as that's when most of the burst damage starts coming in. Finish off with QSS or RFC as the third item. The best augments are Junkyard, Featherweights, and Econ augments like Trade Sector and Golden Ticket. Other augments like Thrill of the Hunt and Knife's Edge also work great. Imperial Samira Reroll is played the same way. Slow roll at level 7 with this board until you hit Samira 3-star. Her best items are Last Whisper, IE, and BT, but other items like Hurricane, Giant Slayer, and Deathblade work as well. But you always need at least one healing item on her. At level 8 you want either 4 Challengers, Braum, or Galio, depending on your augments. And the best augments are All for One, Trade Sector, and Golden Ticket, or other damage ones like Knife's Edge and Cybernetic Implants. With Kog'Maw Reroll, you slow roll with this board at level 5 by removing Blitz and Malzahar. At level 6 add in Blitz, and at level 7 add in Malzahar. 3-star Kog'Maw and Kassadin, and if you hit Garen, Caitlyn, and Graves 3-star, that's a massive bonus as well. For Kog'Maw you need Rageblade, and then pick between Static Shiv, Giant Slayer, and Hodge as your last 2 items. The best augments are anything to do with Protectors, +1 Mutant is also great if the trait is Blademaster, and Trade Sector and Golden Ticket are also fantastic. Featherweights, Sniper Nest, and Sharpshooters are also great for this comp. Innovators are played the same way, pick between Heimerdinger, Seraphine, or Orianna carry. The only item you absolutely need is Morello on Seraphine. You will always end up with this board at level 8 minus the Taric, and then you can replace him with anything depending on your augments. The best ones are Innovator Heart, anything to do with Scholars. Any healing items like First Aid Kit is also amazing. Arcanist Reroll runs these 5 core units. Here you go for 3-star all of these, with Vex, Swain, and Malzahar being the most important ones. What you add in depends on your augments, and you will slow roll at level 6 and then end up with this level 8 board. You will stack Vex or Swain depending on who you're most likely to 3-star, and Malzahar is the best carry with blue buff and JG. The third item is Gunblade or another damage item. The best augments are anything to do with Arcanists. Healing augments like Celestial Blessing, Thrill, and First Aid Kit are awesome, and Metabolic Accelerator is amazing for any reroll comp. Lux is the same old story. You can cut down to 4 Arcanists to add in Braum and Leona if you need more frontline, and you can also run Victor as your primary carry if you're able to 2-star him with Sojin plus 2 damage items. Augments for Lux are pretty much the same as for Arcanist reroll. With Syndicate Shaco, you slow roll at level 7 or 8 depending on your HP and gold total. You play this board minus Yuumi at level 7 and then add in Yuumi at level 8. You slow roll for Shaco, Echo, and Talon 3-star and then replace Katarina with Akali late game. As for items, you want IE, and the second item is Hurricane, Deathblade, or Last Whisper, and then the last item is BT or Hodge. Items for Akali is not important as you won't 2-star her in most games, and most of the time you will not even find her until very late into the game. Augments for Shaco are anything to do with Assassins or Syndicate, and other healing augments like Celestial Blessing and Thrill also work great. With Kai'Sa carry you need to have a lot of gold at level 8 and end up with this board. Best items for Kai'Sa is Morello, GA, Shiv, Rageblade, and Hodge. Pick 3 out of these 5 and you will do just fine. You can also itemize Galio with AD items if you get him 2-star. Best augments are anything to do with Socialite, Challenger Heart is also great, and healing augments like Thrill of the Hunt or Celestial Blessing are also great. With Warwick Reroll you slow roll at level 6 with 4 Challenger, 3 Chemtech, or with 6 Challengers, then end up with this board at level 8. The best items for Warwick are QSS and Titans as your 2 core items, then go Shiv or Rageblade as your 3rd item. The best augments are anything to do with Challengers, any damage augments like Knife's Edge or Cybernetic Implants, any econ augments like Trade Sector and Golden Ticket as well. With Mutants you need an early Cho'Gath to stack him up early. From there you want to end up with this board at level 8, and then you want to 3-star your Cho'Gath and Malzahar to win the game. Cho'Gath wants 3 tank items and at least 1 redemption as he heals percentage HP. Malzahar wants Morello and blue buff, and then the 3rd damage item like Deathcap, JG, Hodge, or Gunblade. Best augments are anything to do with Mutants, Portable Forge is great, and Protector Crest is amazing to get Protector Cho'Gath online. Shrug It Off or Celestial Blessing are also great to heal up Cho'Gath. I've made guides on the rest of the comps in the tier list as well, so check those out in the playlist down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what video you want me to make next, and if you want to get better at TFT, join the Discord. We got over 7,000 other players there who are hungry to climb. And if you want to get coached by me, the information is over in the Discord server as well. So take care and see you in the next video.